Faders of the Lost Art.
All right, yo, what's your favorite small company plugin?
Wow.
Like little boutique, you know what I'm saying? I'll start.
Don't you steal mine.
No one's gonna use mine.
I'm gonna go Spectre.
Okay.
I like
there you
Spectre.
go. There you go. There you go.
Spectre bossed me up recently.
Do you have a favorite little frequency that you use in Spectre?
I'm using the two high freaks on it, and I can turn them into warm, turn them into tube.
Which mode?
Well, it's one mode is it's only a lift, right? You can only lift them. Yeah.
No, the warm, half rectified, like.
I'm doing the warm. I'm doing the tube and the warm.
Oh yeah, the warm is nice.
Yeah, warm is nice. So
Warm is great on there.
A smooth top end.
Oh yeah.
So like when I got a chorus going on with the nice background chorus, I got everything in place, but I wanted to have a little more bite. Put Spectre last in the corner and just tweak it up a little bit.
Easy.
It gives the glass. It's all there. So.
What about you, man? You seem like you had one teed up.
Yeah, man. Mixed wave.
Mixed wave.
All right, which one?
There it is.
Right now, I've been off the new EQP.
The
Voltec.
Hey, I'm glad you said that before Bob did, because it's like the third show Bob said the same.
One, then.
Okay, good.
I'll go with the coil plugin by Mixed Wave.
There you go.
That was sick. That's it.
Yo, that coil 76.
Hey, shoot! Shout out to Colin because Mixed Wave. I like the Electrolux, the 511.
The
Electrodyne. I mean, my
Yes.
bad. Yeah, but the 511 is nice.
Nice. What do you like it on?
I like it on 808.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
and
a
they
40?
have a setting. They have 808 setting on it. I start on that, and I kind of just dial up.
If you guys don't know, that's a really simple 2-band, 2-knob EQ, and it's so more useful than it looks like it's gonna be, because it just looks like there's not much you can do. Between all the combos of all the frequencies and stuff, there's so much you can do with it.
I like them type of plugins because they can be seemingly simple, but then you can dive under the hood at your own pace.
Exactly.
And those are really the ones that set you apart, because people, don't use them. They just walk right by them. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's that secret sauce. I mean, you think about it, you look at it and you're like, oh, I can only drive, the input, and good job. But no, like you said, there's a ton of stuff under the hood, so that's dope. What about you, B?
Oh man, that mixed wave Protec is fire. You can switch between tube and solid state.
Yeah, the solid state is doing numbers, man.
Yeah. Oh, also Make Believe Studios, good math.
I'm gonna put y'all on some super game. Yeah, shout out Make Believe, Metric Halo, super cool guys. I got two. So one is Fire Cobra by United Plugins, a small plugin company. It's a saturation. It's a tube saturation with transient designer, oversampling, and compression. All in one. It's like a little, it's tight. That's my little secret sauce.
What's it? Fire Cobra?
Fire Cobra.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
They have one called Fire Master. Master Bus, same vibe, but I just mainly use Fire Cobra on vocals. Every here and there, it's kind of, it has a little bit of that CLA, that hiss. So you gotta, be careful how you use it. But man, that thing is strong and it's nice. That saturation, that's one of my favorite saturation. And it's kind of like an all-in-one, but not real. I don't know. You just kind of push the tubes and you just whatever. It's cool.
Nice.
Another one that I almost guarantee none of y'all have ever heard of. About to school y'all. It's called the Quartet Dyn PEQ.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You got it.
And it's crazy, bro. I'm telling you, this plugin is crazy. It's made by one man. He did all the code himself. He wrote the website, and he made the whole website by hand by himself. Like, this gentleman is a special gentleman. His name is Dwayne Wise out of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. And he made this whole plugin from scratch. I don't know how long it took him. And I'm telling you, you need a rocket science degree to figure this plugin out. But it has the cleanest top end I've ever heard. Imagine, like, cleaner than the Cambridge. Like, man, this thing is just, it's amazing. Nice. It's a multi-band, dynamic, but you can do a threshold that has a knee like that. You know what I mean? It has like two knees. It's crazy. So, man, definitely go check out Dyn PEQ Quartet is what it's called.
Yeah. Okay.
That shit is crazy, yo.
Dyn PEQ.
Yeah.
Quartet.
It's like a dynamic PEQ. Maybe it has like some, Pultec vibes in there. I don't know why the PEQ, but anyways.
I got a quick question. I'm curious. An ingredient to like get through the all-nighters, them late mixes, right? Them endless mixes. Lots of caffeine coffee. or trying to do the healthy diet with lots of water and sleep, or other possible sponsors.
If you only got like an hour left, 2 hours left, caffeine is fine.
Yep.
But if you got 6-8 hours left, the caffeine's gonna bring you down. In like
Oh yeah.
100%.
an hour after.
As
you
fast
take
as
it.
you go up,
Yeah.
basically.
So then you gotta keep doing it.
Food.
So
Food.
Yeah.
That runner to the dinner spot.
Who can get you though?
You gotta be,
Yeah.
you gotta be
Careful.
careful.
Yeah.
Hey,
gotta
it
get
really
the
You
right
can't, you
thing.
can't eat the full meal, but you gotta just supplement
Man.
that energy.
For real, it really depends on, what stage, like you said, you got an hour left type deal, or is it, what stage of the game, how are you pushing it? But I always say just fresh fruit, water, stay hydrated. And to be honest, I would rather, again, it depends on how long, but I would rather like eat, and if I get sleepy, sleep, and then wake up and do it in a very tiny amount of time, but I'm actually like fresh, than to be like, I don't even know what I'm listening to anymore, but I gotta keep going. Like, you're not doing anybody any service, right?
Hell no, though. I got a Coke machine in my place. Coke Zeros.
He's talking about Coca-Cola.
I got Coke Zeros lined up, and I just do one after another. I'm all good.
Oh, that's the Coke machine
Yeah, I'm
Tupac
on your
was
bus.
using at your spot, right?
I got a Coke machine that's so old that you put the can in prior to that, and it would make the holes in it.
Oh,
wow.
So everybody's used that machine, from Tupac, Digital Underground,
Crazy.
Bobby Brown. I mean, it's historic things. When I sell it, it's gonna go for some money.
For real. Hey, some low-end secrets. Talking about some heavy names over there. What was the low end like in the 90s compared to today? And are you doing some of the same things, some different things?
Well, I mean, one of the things that we did for the drum machines back then is Shock and I made an 808 sample.
He's talking about Shock G,
Shock
Digital
G.
Underground.
Yeah. So what we did is we took a Juno 106, and I have my 808 still. I have my Juno 106 from then, and we'd find the note to match the 808, and then we just created. We get the attack of the 808, so it just boom. So we made a 15-second sample,
Right.
but then we put those in the MPCs, put those in SP12s, and then anybody could take that sample. It was called Long 808, LNG 808.
And that was a modified analog 808 to have the extended
Yeah,
decay, right?
yeah.
And then you used that and sampled that and layered on top of the 106 for Super
Yeah.
Hyphy.
Yeah,
Kick Your
yeah,
Sneak. And
yeah,
that was like
yeah.
one of them songs that really ushered in the
Yeah.
Hyphy movement.
That's crazy.
That's
That's
crazy.
Sublab
Wow.
before Sublab existed.
Oh yeah.
Literally.
So we had to do that. We had to do that on our own with the machine, actual machine. And so what we could do is then you could take the release and you could make it any length that you needed for the song, so it could release at the corner note.
That's
So-
crazy.
So we could
Fire.
create that, and that was all done on the early drum machines.
And how do you do that today? Sublab?
Well, yeah.
Go find that sample.
He mixed big subwoofer, so that's a good question.
Yeah. It's what I did with Big Subwoofer, I got the sample from the guy, but I took it out and I went through a pull tech,
Nice.
and I ran it through the pull tech, ran it back in.
Favorite settings on the pool tech? For low end. Give it up, Mike. Give it up.
I'm trying to look at the machine. Don't ask me. I
Okay,
gotta look
okay,
at the
okay.
machine.
30 cycles.
But one thing I do like on 808s is I like to use the LA2A on the 808s.
Oh, yeah?
That's one of my little tricks, because you get the release on all the 808s. That's a boom.
Right.
But if you put an LA2A and you just tip it,
Kind of
just
gain
tip it.
reduction you doing?
Just
a little
small
bit?
gain
Okay.
reduction. Small gain reduction, so it'll dip it down. You won't lose anything, but you'll get the tail to come up.
Got you.
So you get a little more, but it also creates a little bit of just a little bit of distortion to give it a little bit thicker,
Grit, yeah.
warmer
Right,
sound.
right.
It puts a little fur on
Little,
it. I'll call
little
it.
Bones Howe in there.
Yep. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't think I knew that, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Bones Howe. Dave taught me this Bones Howe trick where you stack 3 1176 blue stripes on a bass
Ooh.
and give it a little fuzz on the top.
Nice.
Nice.
Anybody else got some low end sauce?
Man, that mixed wave, really any pull tech, but the mixed wave pull tech in particular.
Do you remember your presets, or are we on the end?
Yeah, I mean, I think I got like a 3 dB boost. It depends. Usually between 30, or on the mixed wave they changed it between 30 and 40 instead of 20 and 30, and it'll either be there. And then I'll also do maybe half as much the boost on the cut just to clean up the mud. I don't have it in
Okay.
the solid state version because the way that the way that plugin cuts in solid state, it just literally cuts that frequency and it leaves everything else untouched. It doesn't take the weight away. It just kind of cleans up the mud and just tighten up that bass frequency. And then, you know, whatever compressor you want to feed it into afterwards to kind of, again, like similar concept, bring up that tail, bring it all to level. But yeah, that's my sauce.
So what about you, Yungin?
I like Spectre on low.
Oh yeah.
On 808.
For sure.
Okay.
I'll go low shelf at like 3 dB. Sometimes I'll go up to like 5 dB and then turn down the mix knob, but I'll have it on warm setting.
Okay.
At like 70,
Oh.
70 up or 70 down.
Right.
And then I'll just blend it in.
Oh.
But that gives me a lot of that good rumble.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you one I've never told anybody.
Talk to
Oh,
us,
shit.
Bob. Talk to us.
Talk to us.
You know how I like my low end.
Let's go. Hell yeah.
So I'm boosting the heck out of low end, but then I like to control it. So my favorite controller is Soothe. I make 3 really sharp peaks.
Okay.
One at the fundamental, one at the sub, and one at the first harmonic. And then I get a good amount of reduction going. The release is really important depending on how long you want the ring, and how much you want it to tighten. And then I those 3, I balance them to like, what do I need more of? The subharmonic, the fundamental, you know. Sometimes really compressing the next harmonic up is great. It just tightens it and gives you a deeper sound. Otherwise, sometimes you want it to sound a little higher than the fundamental.
And it depends on the program material coming in, right?
Of course,
yeah.
of course.
So it, you know, that's awesome. You have your different.
I use your Metric Halo 808 setting a lot on the channel strip. That's a great starting point too for me. Just tweak it from there.
Thank you.
It's crazy how like you could have made a preset like however many years ago, and people are like either just finding out, or I've been using this for this many years. And I forgot about that one.
I have a McDSP Futzbox.
I was just about to say that's my go-to on the ad lib.
That's what I'm saying.
I definitely use that.
Definitely use that
Fuzzy
for sure.
Vocal Phone 3.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Bob in the box.
Well, it's like I started using Metric Halo, what, at 70 something.
Wow.
And Waves only had like the Q10 and the Q1 and Q10.
Right.
They didn't even start it. And it's like Metric Halo was like, damn, we can really use this box now with channel strip. You know, it's like it was their only thing. That's how far back they go.
That's crazy. Wait, you're talking about Metric Halo outboard gear?
No, Metric Halo software. Because he did Spectre Fu as well too. But,
oh wow.
But they made channel strip for Pro Tools. Digidesign, you know.
Yeah,
Pro
like
Tools.
1999, and it was like McDSP, Massey, Bomb Factory, the Stock Avid, and Metric Halo. It's like there wasn't too many other companies.
There were not for DSP at all.
Right.
Yeah. Crazy. What about making an 808 cut through an iPhone?
Oh, I got one.
Yeah, talk to us.
Ozone 11 Exciter.
Okay.
Band that cut it at 1,000, so it goes split band under 1,000, above 1,000.
All right.
Put it at 100 on tape.
Okay.
And then the mix down to like, I end up being at like 5-6%.
Oh wow, just look
just saturating everything above 1K, but extremely, and then just distorting a little bit.
I gotta write this down.
Oh, that one's nice.
On 11.
Spectre.
I mean, there's not a huge difference
Exciter.
between 11 and 10 on the Exciter. I don't think they did a lot.
That's a new
We're
one
going to have
too.
to run back the tape on that one.
I'll remember that one too.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's definitely a good one. I think I'm still on the old school Tube Screamer. Parallel.
Which one?
The one in the mixed wave one in the Bloomfield has taken over, but before I was doing the UAD one. The Ibanez.
Mixed waves distortion, their amps.
No, they're crazy, bro. He's killing the game. The 1987, I think, or whatever it is, the guitar fuzz is. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're killing it.
Mercurial has a Tube Screamer for free, which is actually pretty damn good sounding.
I got that in their chorus, the purple one. They sound great.
Sounds pretty freaking good.
They sound
and
great.
It's free. Can't beat that. I actually use a Tube Screamer, but the Waves version.
Okay.
Yeah, they have a Waves guitar pedal Tube Screamer. It's not your average tube screamer. I've been saying it. I use a little bit of that, but I also use BOD, the bass overdrive pedal.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like pedals to distort the 808s.
For me, Decapitator still comes out sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What letter at the bottom?
I try them all.
Oh yeah.
See what sounds
Depends
good.
on what. Yeah.
But what you do too with that one is if you copy your 808 or you copy your kit, copy to the band, pass it, do Decapitator on it, and then add it back in, and then do audio movers to your computer, to portable, and then listen to when you start having the tone of the 808 or the tone of the kick back in there.
Exactly.
And then drop that back in as much as you need so that you don't lose anything under 100 hertz coming through your computers.
That's
round
some
of applause
sauce.
for that.
Yeah, for real.
That's good.
Hey. 2 trill. That's
still going.
That's dope.
Yeah.
What about you, B? How do you make a 808 cut through iPhone speakers?
I love Saturn still.
Yeah. What flavor?
Tape.
Tape.
Yep,
Okay.
Yep.
And you top end, bottom end, the whole frequency spectrum.
Somewhere around, but somewhere around like 200 to 800.
Okay.
And then go from there. See if
Okay.
I get the feel right there, and then
just
take
start
from
feeling
there.
it out. Dope. You
yeah.
drive it a lot or just a kiss?
I like to drive the sides more and then pull down.
Oh shit.
On the mid.
Okay.
Kind of let it dance a little bit out the side.
Nice.
You know, the iPhone is kind of glorified monos, but
Yeah. Dope.
start
Dope.
subtle and then start pushing when you start feeling yourself.
Hell yeah.
And then you might have did too much when you wake up in the morning.
And you got to check it in the morning. One thing. The Dimension D as a parallel. Sometimes I add a little something, but it could phase you out real easy
Yeah,
with the all in. Yeah. But you definitely got to check. But the Tal chorus. Tal is the company, but it's the chorus from the Juno 106.
From the Uno.
Yeah.
The
It's
Tal
a free.
Uno.
Yeah, the
That's
Tal.
fire.
Yeah, the Tal chorus. It's a free little joint, but it's a cool little widener. You parallel that in on your 808. Give you
People
some cool
sleeping
shit.
on the Dimension D though. The Dimension D, the rolling.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't always work, but when it does,
Yeah.
it's fucking
When
fire.
the four buttons in.
Oh, put
Yep,
4 buttons
yep,
in.
yep,
there
yep.
you go.
And it's awesome on sub basses
Yeah.
too.
Oh,
Whenever
yeah.
you get a bass line.
If you have to have something move, that'll make it move.
Yep.
You just bring it in subtle. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Same with the Uno. I love the Uno on basses.
Remember, you came to my spot. I was showing you this mix and had the analog Juno 106,
Yep.
and the tech had modified it so you could use the chorus and just run, analog through it.
As a hardware
Yep.
insert, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
That's
fire.
the real way of doing it. For
Yeah.
those of you at home that don't have a Juno, get that free plug-in.
Yeah, some say it's the boring way because it's longer than a click, click, boom.
But hey,
But it's
to be honest, there's something about going in and out the box, the transformers. There's just a little thickness, a little bit of realness. A lot of times that front to depth is where you get that in the real world, right? Not in these 2D plugins that are,
Right.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I mean, I've got an OB8, Matrix 12, Juno 106,
Ooh.
808, TB303.
damn.
And when you put them up against the plugins, there ain't no comparison.
Yo,
No,
I got a
at
good
all.
one. I got a great question. What plugin do you use to give you front to rear depth? There's only a handful that really
For
do
me
that.
right now, it's coil audio, and I
Okay.
adjust the emphasis on the NF knob.
Okay, the NF knob.
It's a pure.
It's like a bias knob, or
Yeah,
like
it's just the bias of the pre-circuitry, and it just acts like a front-to-back EQ. You know what I'm saying?
That's sick.
If you turn it to the
What
left,
do you-
and it just immediately gets in your face. Turn it back down, and kind of shelves off the high end a little bit.
what do you use it on?
Mostly vocals.
Okay.
Everything, honestly. If I get a source, whatever I'm working on, and it just seems lackluster, the first thing I'm gonna do is put the coil on it or put the VLC on it, and
Nice.
just adjust the pre on the VLC a little bit to give it some harmonics. But yeah, that coil it does numbers on whether it's the musical instruments in your beat that you're mixing
Yep.
or on the vocals. It's just a real nice way of getting stuff to come up this way without just high shelving stuff and
Yeah.
getting all the nastiness with it.
Just being too like heavy-handed with it.
Exactly.
It could be heavy-handed, but it also could be very subtle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I like a dynamic EQ, MS mode, and side chaining creatively. That helps carve out some space and ducking the curves. So, yeah.
Oh. What about you, Yungin?
To bring it up. to bring elements in front and back.
Well, like front to rear. Like, how do you create front to rear space? Like, you know, you could, you know, we got wideners to create this way, but how do you create space front to rear? Like, give your mix a 3D. You know, there's.
I use sidechain for that.
Okay.
Yeah, so track space is my favorite.
Yep.
MS mode and attack. And you have filter. I mean, you have
like a sidechain.
Yeah. So it's like there's so much control on that.
And there's like a secret menu with all the tech release settings and all that.
Exactly. But I use it on MS like all the time.
Oh, okay.
To clear up that to bring things forward, I just take. I just sidechain some stuff in the middle.
Right. Yeah, I definitely use track spacer on my music section, you know, for the vocals. But I've talked about it before. I'll say it again. The Moog EQ4M, which is actually brand new. They had the EQ4, but now they have the 4M as a plug-in as well.
What's the M?
Plug-in alliance?
The M is, I believe it has...
The rack version.
Yep, it's the... Go ahead.
Yeah, rack version.
It may have a little bit more headroom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's their mastering version, right?
Yeah, so it's the mastering version. That's what the M is. But it's basically the EQ4 stereo version of the EQ4. And it has a little bit more headroom. And what Moog does, they use video chips or video cards that have like way higher headroom for audio, which is really weird. It sounds crazy, but if you look it up, go look up the technology. It's insane.
And they used to be Night Pro back in the day. So I remember blowing up Andrew Dawson's spot back in the day, and he was like, yo, I got to put you up on this Night Pro.
Yep.
It's discontinued, and then all of a sudden, Moog. And keeping it going.
He's legendary.
Yeah.
So, but there's something about that. When you put it on your mix, it kind of just like makes everything, you know, like the horns and the strings and everything is kind of like tightened up like a Serbian mix. You know, everything's just fucking right there. But when you put stuff like this on, sometimes, like for example, for me, I'll put the Moog EQ4 on my master bus, and like the horns suddenly step back a little bit, and the singer's up here, and the drums are back there. You know what I mean? Like it gives it a little bit more space, like makes it feel like they're on stage. You know what I mean? It really like kind of brings that to life, and that's something that I like to do when I mix, is like make you feel like you close your eyes and you're actually there with the person. You know?
Are you talking about that's on 0? Or
you just put it on,
I mean, you could do
it.
Even just starting at 0, you could do that. But just with like one click up here, one click up there, and you already start hearing shit like literally separate like that. It's crazy.
Fire.
As far as separation, how much do y'all rely on automation as well in achieving that?
Yep.
1,000%, man.
I was gonna say I was gonna give you two answers. My asshole answer was the fader. But my cool guy answer is Seventh Heaven percussive air.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not a crazy depth. It's like 0.2 seconds long.
Wow.
But if you have like a dense mix and you're trying to get one sound to pop up, but you don't want to raise the fader, you don't want to lower other stuff, you put that on, put the mix at 50%, put it right on the track, and it just goes bing, and then all of a sudden you hear it come back.
Crazy.
In, you know?
And for those of you that don't know, Seventh Heaven is basically a plug-in emulation of the Bricasti M7.
So percussive air is the preset.
Right, percussive air on the Bricasti, which the original Bricasti has a percussive air preset. Sick, dude. It's like I've been hearing about the percussive air preset from legendary Bob Horn for a while.
On the lead vocal, it just gives you a sense of like, it's like, what the hell did you just put on the lead vocal? It's just like in a different space without you hearing reverb.
Early verbs are really useful for that type of stuff. Them short reverbs. It just gives you a nice separation from, you know, especially nowadays you get a lot of vocals where people are tracking them, they're loving to wash the hell out of their vocals. There's so much reverb, it's hard to distinguish different elements. So you put a nice early verb on like the lead, it helps separate it from the backgrounds and everything else.
Well, that's the use of delays is a lost art in a long times. But also too, if you want to move some spatial, Relab does. It used to be called the Yardstick. It's a new reverb they came out with.
I know what you're talking about.
Please don't have my memory issue.
I'm trying to remember.
But what we do with that one, it's a room simulator. It was the best ever made. It's a German company that made it. And what you do is work with your, 300, 700 milliseconds, kicking it back. So you got this up front vocal, but you go back 700 milliseconds and put this room back, and then drop it left and right. All of a sudden, this thing is like moved out.
Adds depth.
And that's so you're fooling the ears, by doing that, and a lot of times too is when you're sending to a reverb, go left and right. You know,
Is it
reverse
Quantex?
it.
Right,
Quantex,
okay.
Quantex reverb. Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Bob. The Quantex reverb is kicking for spatial
Yeah.
issues. But then, you know, when you're doing your sends, don't just do them straight left and right. Reverse them. Reverse the sends.
Yeah.
So that it fools the ear what's going to those reverbs, and you got it straight and you got it reverse. So
That's crazy.
just an old little trick we used to do on boards and stuff too. So
Great for mono sources as well. If you have a mono source that just lacks life, different reverbs on the left and the right with different time settings or EQ settings on them, and just that's one of my favorite tricks.
I love two mono spring reverbs, one left and right. Different ones though.
Yeah, different settings on each, and it just helps.
Then
add
throw a
such
little
good
micro
depth.
shift on top after that for some more fun.
well then you take a guitar solo, you got a little bit at like 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock, put the reverb on the other side.
Right.
You know?
That one I do a lot.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah.
so all of a sudden you got this thing and going, wow, I hear it both sides, but
A little, I like doing
tone,
that with
man.
a slap.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Do a little
like-
slap, a little guitar slap on the other side,
Yeah.
like make it fly over. That's cool.
One of my sounds early mixing was an STD1.
Yeah.
ADA, STD1, and all it was microsecond shifts. So my hi-hat thing was, fuck doing it like drummers. I put the hi-hat in, it would go left and right, but it would have all these slaps.
Right.
You know, it'd be slapping, you know, because I just do little micro shifts. If you
Yep.
look up an STD1, that was my shit back in the day.
Damn.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah.
The original micro shift.
That's dope. That's dope.
Speaking of microshift, real quick, I do Eventide. It's not the H9. It's the. I'm drawing a blank. It's a pitch shifter by Eventide. It used to be a hardware unit.
H3000?
No.
949?
Yes.
949.
Yes. What's the other one? Is there another 9?
910.
Yes, that's it. The H910. My man, Bryce. That's I don't know why I was drawing a blank. It's been a long day.
Oh, it's all good. I
The
use that one all the
H910,
time.
and you have them on like varying speeds. Like you put one on like 99 and 100, and the other one like on 100 and 101 or something like
the
that.
LFO.
Yep,
speed.
the LFO speed, and blend that in, and that gives you a lot of like
Gives a nice little chorus.
yeah, a little just some space, some like
Yeah.
texture, some color, some cool little trick there.
It's kind of like a psychoacoustic effect.
It is,
You know,
it is.
I've got a Castle Phaser 3 stereo. This is an old unit, hand built, and it's a phaser flanger. So it's hardware. So when I plug it in and I put something in it, the sound wraps around the back of your head.
Wow.
It does this psychoacoustic thing.
I actually use it to like tune vocals that are just like a little bit out of tune, and I don't want to put tuning on them.
Yeah.
Like I'll just like smear it a little bit with that.
It's a good trick.
Yeah.
It's a good trick.
Yeah.
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 Have,
Well,
have you ever tuned a whole vocal on an SPX 90?
jeez.
Thankfully, had not had to.
Bobby Brown's vocal on Girlfriend. When I was doing his King of Stage album, we didn't have auto-tune back then, so I had him on track 5, recorded him on track 8, and so I did girl, girl, girl on the SPX 90 girl, then coming down to minus 25 friend, so 12 hours of tuning all on an SPX 90.
Wow.
12 hours later.
Yeah.
The things we used to do to get y'all that quality music.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Before
you
auto-tune.
You guys are all hurting me.
For real. For real.
That's the thing.
Crazy. I'm over here like, an H910's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Man.
Man, crazy. Well, how's the show been? Any cool new things that you've seen? Could be plugins, could be gear, could be just anything innovative. Talk to me.
There's a lot, but I use Namm to come see my friends.
Right?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Love it. It's our audio new year. I always say that.
Yeah, but I mean, all the companies are releasing good stuff, man. It's good speakers, Telegraph, KSD, HEDD. Paul
Dutch and
Wolf
Dutch.
has his genius stuff.
Yo, the Pro Patch.
Pro
Yo,
Patch.
and
Shout
he
out Pro
has
Patch.
a fully analog Atmos console. What?
That's right.
Yo, what? And you
That's
flip
wild.
one switch and it's a every channel or buckets or whatever stereo.
And his headphone box for a tracking room.
Yeah,
Studio.
the
it's so cool. It
the
makes me wanna
collaborator?
build a studio again. Like a
I
live
know,
room.
right? Yeah. That's sick, dude. I can't wait, man. Paul Wolf, man. Shout out to Paul Wolf. Huge innovator, man. We owe a lot of the great tech in our industry
Yes,
to
shout out
Paul.
Wolf
Make
for
Believe's
sure.
2 new plugins, the
Oh,
DB
yeah.
Verb.
The DB
That
Verb.
thing is awesome.
That's awesome.
It's like it's just fun. It's like you can't even adjust the decay. It's like 4 reverbs with 3 presets each, all from famous records.
Yeah.
You either like it or it's not the right thing. It's
Crazy.
They killing it over there.
Nah, they are. Shout out Make Believe Magic Halo.
And the Geringer plug-in too.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
CG2 list.
Yeah,
I can't wait for it to
Yeah.
drop.
I'm gonna use that next week.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up with one plugin y'all could give us that you use on your mix bus.
TC Electronics brick wall limiter. I love
Oh,
it.
wow.
I used it in the 6000 years ago, but they released it as a plug-in. But that thing, when you put it on there and you can make it warm, it puts a little fuzz in it, and it's just really smooth. The
Great.
brick wall limiter. That's what we'll put on my master bus.
Okay.
I'll go with Leap Wing Dine 1.
Nice. On the
Great.
master. Shout out Leapwing on the master, baby.
I got a fresh new one. The SPL machine head.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
It just made it on my mix
Nice.
bus like last
Nice.
week.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I've been messing with the mixed wave version of the
The mix head.
yeah. the
I
mixed
did a
head,
little
but it's-
shootout on
yeah.
on stream, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Sorry, Colin."
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Sorry, Make Believe.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So I make it, yeah.
But no,
But it's flavor. It's flavor.
Flavor.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? At the end of the day, that's what
For a
we're looking
different type
for.
of song,
For
it
a
would-
box,
yeah,
for a box
exactly.
like that, what we're looking for is flavor. So you know,
100%.
But yeah.
I'm a Ruby 2 guy. Just wanna-
nice.
Since I don't have 10 grand yet for the Fern, you know.
Damn. This was already in my mind what I was going to say. I'm going to kind of cheat. So I use a slightly different DAW. They have a plugin called Pipeline. It allows using outboard gear real seamlessly. And then slap on the VT5.
The
VT5, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Kind of cheated with that one.
Right? Yeah.
Let's go.
That's all of ours.
Sorry.
And mine will be Limitless by DMG Audio.
I love Limitless.
Another good one.
Now what?
It's like it doesn't get talked about, but everyone's like, hey, like we know, but like don't say that shit.
On the punchy setting.
Yeah.
On the punchy
Oh yeah.
setting.
Yeah. For
Oh, you
sure.
give it all the
bro.
game.
Amazing.
There
And
it
then you
is.
got some clipping options if you want.
Oh, yeah, I
Decent
do
little
like
clip-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's funny thing about that is the transparent setting gives you more front to back depth,
Right.
but
It
you
sucks
can't get
it.
it as loud.
Right.
It takes
Yeah.
the transients away too
exactly.
much.
Yeah, so I always go punchy.
Punchy
Yep.
is the best, like, happy medium.
Yep.
Definitely. Shout out DMG Audio. They also have like cool other things like Elevate, like crazy EQs and stuff like that, where it's like a 32 channel,
I
a
love
32 band
Elevate from
EQ,
Newfangled.
yeah. And then you kind of like you could do cool like EQ matching shit, like tone matching, tone shaping. Like, oh, I want my artist to sound more like Posty, or I want him to sound more like whatever. And you kind of like we had this thing where we'd like, you know, strip a vocal or try and like get a acapella of a vocal, however you want to do it. That's cool. And then you kind of like learn that curve of that vocal, and then you put that curve on your joint.
What do you used to learn?
The Elevate will learn the curve of the
Oh,
incoming
okay, so it has
vocal.
like-
Yeah, that
oh,
plug-in Elevate by DMG Audio or Newfangled.
Yeah,
Newfangled. I think I'm
yeah.
mixing them up, but they look the same in color.
Yes.
What about hardware on your mix bus? What hardware?
VT5.
He said the VT5.
Oh, VT7 and VT5.
Yeah.
But I don't have a 5 right now. I have a 7.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
7's a compressor.
Oh, it's the
5 is
compressor.
EQ.
Okay, yeah. I'm tripping.
That EQ is so good,
Bro.
and the fact that it gives you, unlike a Pultec, but like a Pultec, it gives you 2 separate frequencies with 2 separate gains instead of 1 frequency with 2 gains.
Yes.
Boost and cut. You have 2, so you can boost 40. You can boost 20, but cut 40.
Yes.
You know, stuff like that.
Oh, you know what? So Mike Denton's audio offspring protege, Miggy, gotta do a big shout out to him. I helped get him a creative deal on one, and he ended up mixing the Killer Mike project with it. And
Yep.
got his 4th trophy.
VT5, yeah.
Hey, yo,
Hey, shout out.
funny story. Miggy, he was going on tour with Doja Cat,
Yeah.
to do front of house.
Yep.
So he asked me if I wanted to finish the Killer Mike. So me and him, we did the Killer Mike together.
True
Hey,
gentleman.
There
let's
we
go.
go.
Oh yeah, I also call Miggy the Bo Jackson of the pro audio game.
He's a
Nah,
beast.
he's a boy.
So on my bus, I have an IGS Tilton Bands.
Uh huh.
So it's the same thing like a VT5, but a little different. It's English. And then with Miggy's help, Boris, it's called Sonic Farms in Toronto. There's a cosmonaut you take on your live tour, and it's a Pinto Triode.
Damn.
And so I have number one of their Mastronaut, which is a
Damn.
Pinto Triode thing you put on it.
That's
it's called
crazy.
a Mastronaut from Sonic Farms, Boris up in Toronto. Shout out
Yo.
when I put it in.
Hey, you know
it just
what?
lifts the track. It's great.
All right, I'm gonna give y'all one more too. Since we're getting outboard, I was gonna say the EQ4, but I mentioned it already, so you already know I use that. But the Spacecraft by Matthew Lane.
All right, yeah.
Oh,
Matthew Lane, who makes
3D.
Yeah.
what's his plugin? Dr. MS.
Yeah.
Dr. MS is amazing, but he made a hardware version of Dr. MS, which is Spacecraft. And it is crazy.
Yeah.
I don't really love going out the box. You got to be a special character, and the EQ4, the Spacecraft, a couple other small little pieces, but those are a few that I definitely.
Oh, I got a recommendation for those that might be a little trepidatious about going out the box. Is Better Maker. It's the
I was
best.
just about to say the.
Oh, I'll let you
my
take it from there.
My outboard is the VSPE, the valve Flowtech.
Oh, yeah.
And man, even if you just put it on and don't do anything, the tubes in there are amazing.
And it's got
Nice.
the heat option too, so it pushes about 6 dB into the tubes, but it level matches, so it's the same whether before or after. So it makes it a really like authentic AB.
Yep,
Experience.
it's a great piece of gear right there.
Better make a plug.
Oh, yeah.
we
Shout
gonna pull
out.
up on you.
Shout
we
out,
gonna
shout
pull
out.
up on you.
Hey,
Yeah.
shout out Marek from Better Maker.
Yeah.
And definitely thank you guys for joining me. Namm 2025. We're here live
Hey,
at the
shout
Cloud
out
Mike's
Big
booth.
Lou.
Yes.
Big
Lou. Shout out Big Lou.
Shout out Big Lou.
Hey.
Look at him.
Let's
Look at
go. Shout out Big Lou in the building.
All right, thank you, man.
Faders of the Lost Art. We're out.
We out.
Peace
Peace,
out.
y'all.
Oakland.
Don't forget to share, comment, like, and subscribe. And see you next time on Faders of the Lost Art.